The Kyzylkum Desert is the 15th largest desert in the world. Its name means red sand in Turkic language. Plants and animals from deserts are adapted to surviving in adverse climate conditions, constantly fighting with the sun, with the wind and with the sand. This is the stem of the plant, Flora the smelly. For a short spring season, it managed to give a bush from the root, and then drives it out into a powerful stem up to 1.5 meters high, then blossoms and gives seeds. The smelly Flora resin has a strong garlic odour, so even camels do not eat it. Only insects feast on the nectar and juice. Saxiol parted with leaves on the evolutionary path for the sake of an economy. The smaller the surface of the plant, the less water it evaporates. Having lost leaves, Saxiol adapted green shoots for photosynthesis, and thanks to it, this tree can live in such heat and dryness in which other trees will never survive. It's a thought of Saxiol forest. Local people use Saxiol as a fuel. It's said to burn almost without smoke. It does not crack, and its properties are similar to coal. This is such a cute dog. He was following us everywhere. It was so unusual for us to see these beautiful flowers growing in the sands. According to the folk, it's called Cherkias, and it's not afraid of drought. Cherkias loves sandy soils, but you won't touch them, it's very prickly. We are approaching the Ayaz Kala fortress, which can be called a fortress in the wind due to moving sands of the Kyzylkum. Having taken up an important strategic position near Horizm, it guarded against raids of nomads and Sacs. In real, there is a complex of 3 fortresses. The desert is full of legends. According to one of them, the Horizm king ordered the building of a fortress to protect the northern border of his state. He announced that anyone who could build such a fortress would receive his beautiful daughter as his wife. A shepherd named Ayaz, who lived nearby the border of Horizm, began to build a fortress, but then he found out that the king had broken his promise and married the daughter to another man. Hearing about this, the shepherd immediately stopped building the fortress. From the height of 60 meters, we can clearly see a small square-shaped fortress, Ayaz Kala 2. We are slowly going down. It is curious that archaeological research nowadays has shown that the fortress is actually unfinished. And here we are in the yurt camp.
Take a picture of the table. Lovely.
We are treated with Uzbeki food. The hostess categorically did not accept refusals.
Yeah, now that does look interesting over there.
We are on our way to the ancient settlement of Ayaz Kala. In October 1938, the Russian archaeologist Sergei Pavlovich Tolstov, who was heading a small exploration group, looked around from the wall of the Ayaz Kala fortress. He noticed the outline of huge ruins on the horizon and asked the guide about what kind of fortress it was. "This is Ayaz Kala. There is nothing interesting," was the answer. The next day, despite of all what he'd heard, the group went towards an unknown fortress. Tolstoy wrote in his memoirs, "The first acquaintance with Ayaz Kala was enough to make sure that we have a valuable monument of the ancient culture of Horizm." The time of the construction of the settlement was the 1st century BC. It soon became clear that large excavations were needed here. The size of the whole structure was amazing. It was 500 by 350 meters, but the most promising findings were the wall paintings, a new kind of artistic culture of ancient Horizm. Archaeologists also discovered a large number of thin-walled Kusham ceramics and Horizm coins that documents in the ancient Horizm language. Some of them belong to the 3rd century AD. Once upon a time, there was a palace decorated with wall paintings, a temple of fire, residential and office buildings. Our next stop was a cotton field, the first time I saw how cotton was growing. Irina picked up a white ball, which looked like a usual cotton wool, but when she opened it, she saw the seeds inside. She was stunned. Cotton wool with seeds? It is an amazing land where every hill promises exciting discoveries. It's an impressive story that makes travellers to pass thousands of kilometres for the sake of one glance at it, a touch of bygone eras. All of this is Uzbekistan, which is impossible not to fall in love with if you happen to visit it at least once.